Hey everyone, Ben Williamson here from InvestorHub at the Ignite Summit in Hong Kong, sitting down with Scott Williamson. Scott, how are you going?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
no worries. No relation, we should get that out of the way. That's fine. How are you finding the conference?
It's been great. Yeah,
Yep.
it's there's a good buzz around. Obviously, great time for copper, gold, a lot of the commodities are hitting all-time highs. Feels like Hong Kong's really opening up again for capital, which is great. So, yeah, great timing, and and well done by the Ignite team.
Yeah, I think it's really well received, which is fantastic. Tell us a bit about Blackstone, right? Like, obviously there's been some changes over the last couple of months, both in share price and the like, so give us an overview.
Yeah, so it's been a tough 4 or 5 years, well, probably the last 2 or 3 years in nickel, but we've obviously focused our initial efforts on the Vietnam project, the Tak Ba nickel project. We took that from what was an exploration play essentially, or it was a previously operated nickel mine, but it didn't have any resources. So we drilled 100,000 metres, we achieved the scoping, pre-feasibility, all the way through to a definitive feasibility study. And while that was happening, we had the sentiment turn against us, unfortunately, for nickel, due to the supply coming out of Indonesia. And unfortunately, the capital markets for nickel just dried up completely, and so we had to start having a look at other opportunities. And we landed on this opportunity in the Philippines late last year, and and unfortunately, the nickel, it's a great asset, and we'd love to continue exploring and developing that asset, but we've just been starved of capital. So really excited to look at the copper gold space, but also it's a sad day as well, because
it's a lot of time and effort.
Yeah, a lot of effort. We built a big team, we've had to pull that team back, but we're confident we might find a partner that might be able to carry us through there as well.
Okay, nice. So obviously with the new project, and that's equaled also, as you said, in two commodities that are both very, very hot at the moment. Is that what's getting people excited back in the stock?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons. I think it's the right asset for Blackstone because we've got the history of operating in Southeast Asia. It seems to be well received from that perspective because it's a good fit with our existing team and our skill sets around exploring and developing in emerging markets in Southeast Asia. The commodities obviously help as well. There's a lot of gold in this project, a lot of copper in this project. So copper hitting all-time highs, gold hitting all-time highs, that definitely helps. But I think it's also the great work that the team that we're merging with have done as well. So we're not just merging and creating a copper gold porphyry project. It's all of that intellectual property that comes with that team as well, and the ability to move the asset forward, bring in our team working closely with their team. The combination, the merger just fits really well, and it's well timed, obviously.
Yeah, nice. I guess you've already spoken a bit about the commodities and the cycles, right? What I kind of picked up from that though as well is you're saying you're not just buying a project, you're not like, oh, gold's hot, let's get into gold. You've actually brought the team in and it's a merger and you're getting deeper into it.
Yeah, and so the two executive teams coming together.
Yeah.
So there's two really important players on the IDM team. So we've got Joey and Ronnie. So they're the local Filipino executives. So Joey's a geologist, Ronnie's a mining engineer. These guys have been with this asset for 10 or nearly 20 years as well. So they bring all of that expertise, and then we can also bring our expertise from Vietnam. We've got a full suite of engineers, geologists, and so we've got equipment as well. We've got geophysics equipment we're sending over immediately because geophysics hasn't been done at this project previously. So it hasn't really been systematically explored, and so that's the opportunity. Bring some. And
that's what you've got a good history in, right?
Yeah. So when we went into Vietnam, we bought our own geophysics equipment, we bought our own drill rigs, We've got our own metallurgical testing laboratory, and you can do all these things so much cheaper than when you're in the Western world. For example, in Vietnam, we were drilling for $50 per metre. In Australia, that'd be $250 to $300 a metre.
Yeah, okay.
So we want to do a similar thing with the Philippines, similar strategy, but also we can use our engineers as a low-cost centre as well. So instead of using an expensive engineer in Australia, for example, a lot of that grunt work can be done with the low-cost centre.
Team. Yeah. And talking with investors yesterday, so you're full of meetings yesterday and this morning, so thanks for fitting this in.
No,
but what's the response been like here?
Yeah, it's been very well received. There's been a few different types of investors. We've got, being so close to mainland, there's a lot of Chinese money looking to get exposure to both gold and the critical minerals. So there's that big money that sits in China. There's a lot of that around. There's hedge funds here. There's long only funds. So family offices, high net worths. It's been a great sort of mix of different investors. And I think everyone wants exposure to gold at the moment.
I think I was talking to an investor here yesterday between meetings, and he said that I said, "Oh, what are you here looking at?" And he's like, "Gold." I said, "No, but what company?" He's like, "I'm here for gold." And I think one of the other aspects that he mentioned was, even though the gold prices move so much, like if you look at it in AUD figures, like the chart is just crazy, but that hasn't really flown into juniors that are so impacted by that move in price, right? And I think especially with your project in a low-cost jurisdiction and you've got a history of low-cost delivery, like that can be really exciting.
Yeah, no, I've been following the capital markets for over 10 years now, and I've never seen the disconnect between the commodity price and the underlying equities, particularly at the junior level. I think that the seniors and the mid-caps are becoming more appropriately valued, but I think there's still plenty of room to run on those bigger companies, but particularly the junior end of town. We've been starved of capital for the last 2 or 3 years, and I think that capital will flow down.
Yeah.
It'll start at the majors and the producers and the mid-caps, and then it'll come down to the developers. Eventually it'll come down to the explorers. So there's some serious leverage to that money flowing down, and it usually starts with gold, and gold really is the backbone of our industry, and that's why we're really excited to have exposure to that commodity, but we're really excited to have also that exposure to the critical mineral of copper, but also having that exposure to nickel as well.
Almost a free carry on the nickel project now, which is really good. So if someone was thinking about investing, obviously you've had a whole bunch of new investors come on board post the merger as well, but why should they look at the company now versus waiting 6 or 12 months?
Yeah, so there's going to be some major milestones with respect to the de-risking of the asset over the next 6 to 12 months. In the immediate future, we've got assays pending. The IDM team drilled 2 1,000 metre drill holes, so we've got assays in the lab as we speak. So we want to get those in the market as quickly as we can. We've got to complete the deal. So as the deal is de-risked, so there's a number of milestones that need to be achieved. Okay. So the voting, the independent experts report, all of those de-risking events we think will be catalysts. So there'll be a number of catalysts with just de-risking the deal. And then once we complete the deal, we want to hit the ground running. We want to be drilling big, broad intercepts, excitement, geophysics, all of that stuff that start of that discovery phase of an exploration opportunity like this.
So finally, so that all great stuff. So finally, if people have a question, if they've got a follow-up, what's the best way that they can get in touch?
Well, we prefer the InvestorHub as the best channel.
Thanks.
No, but seriously, we big fans of the platform. We believe that that is the best channel, and we will always reply as quickly as we can. And what my general reply will be, let's get on a phone call and talk about it, because there's so much that you can learn from a face-to-face conversation with myself, and I do that regularly with all shareholders. And get on the InvestorHub,
sign up, ask a question.
Ask the question. we'll set up an online meeting with myself or one of the team, depending on what the question is.
Yep. And where you are, right? Like traveling throughout Southeast Asia at the moment.
Busy.
Yeah, which is good. That's where we want
we'll always get to it. And then every now and then we'll also do the video where we bring a heap of the questions together and we answer them on the video as well. So
Great.
yeah, there's a couple of different ways we will come back.
Yep.
But always keen to take as many questions through the hub.
Great, thank you. All right, thanks Scott, and thanks everyone at home. Cheers.
Thank you.